Aftur Aftur. What is that in English? Welcome to the Goodboyshow.
Thank you.
We would like to start by acknowledging that we are both Icelandic and we are speaking English to each other now, which is weird for both of us. But we do this for our international
Fame.
Yeah, and audience. And the ESB. Hello, you can start by telling me your name, age, how long you've been tattooing, all that good stuff.
Right, so my name is Sölvi Dúnn, aka Doner. I've been tattooing since 2017 and I'm born in 1987, which makes me, according to your calculations, 50.
And my math is always right. So my first question is maybe, do you have like a first memory of tattooing? Like, do you remember being a kid or something?
Yeah,
like...
absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure if it's the first memory, but I have a pretty strong one of me like sneaking over to Nexus, the like comic book store, which was just across the street from Tattoo Skart, where Svanur was tattooing. And so yeah, I went to the comic book store and then I snuck into the tattoo shop looking at Flash, and I was like dead set on getting this like Polynesian looking tribal gecko thing. And I looked at it for a couple of years. Like every time I was at Nexus, I went into the shop and yeah. I even got so far as I got like I got permission from my mom to get it at like 14, but thinking about it now, I think like she knew I was never gonna get it, otherwise she would never have given it. And I've actually talked to Svanur since about like getting that tattooed by him, because he apparently has all the old Flash still.
Okay, so that's your first memory of like tattoos.
Yeah, at least like getting the thought into my head that I might get one.
I don't remember my first, I think like Ink Master or like LA Ink or something like that was probably my first sort of introduction to like tattooing. I remember there was like some guy, he came to the Icelandic Tattoo Expo. He was like the lizard man or something.
Oh yeah.
And he's like covered in head and toe. I remember seeing like a picture of him like in a newspaper or something.
Like as a kid?
Yeah. But this is probably, this is like way before he came to Iceland. But I remember seeing him in the newspaper and just being like, what the fuck?
I'm gonna do that.
But instead of just tattooed, just a bunch of little like tribal geckos everywhere.
Awesome. So good.
So you've been tattooing 9 years.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing, because you're sort of like a graphic designer also.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
I want to say I graduated in 2014 with my master's degree.
Whoa, master's degree.
But I didn't really work at that. I mean, I moved back to Iceland from Denmark, so I studied in Copenhagen. And I never really like worked as a graphic designer. So the education I have is like kind of in between graphic design and fine arts. And I considered myself much more of an artist than a graphic designer. Didn't want to work for others, I guess. So when I moved back, I just did like the whole art thing, worked at a bar and yeah, painted, had some exhibitions and then got into tattooing. But that was like, yeah, maybe so 2014, 15, 16, so like 3 years of that or something like that.
And how do you feel like stepping from graphic design to tattooing? Because I mean, when you start tattooing, you seem to have already like a pretty good base of like drawing and stuff like that. So I'm imagining you've been drawing since forever? Or?
Yeah. I mean, I drew a lot as a kid. Painted like small Warhammer figures, hence the like Nexus thing.
The S thing.
Oh yeah, I did that as well. Yeah. And yeah, so I had been doing that for a while, and I remember like working at the bar, I kind of started to develop something more like akin to the stuff I tattooed my first year or first 2 years.
Yeah.
And like the stuff I was doing at school was a lot of illustration and a lot of like figurative illustrative stuff rather than like typography or anything like that.
And do you think the stuff that you designed as a designer, do you think that would easily translate into tattoos?
Yeah.
Like, so you kind of already had like the sort of like essence of like a tattoo design.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, obviously it changed and got like adjusted to the technique of tattooing, but like I was very lucky in that my stuff was pretty like tattooable.
That's cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And like and when I started, I already had like I don't want to say I had like a distinct style of my own, but I had like a drawing style at least, which people were into getting at least the first couple of years. So like I started tattooing quite a lot as an apprentice.
Do you remember the first tattoo you did?
Yeah, I mean I did my first tattoo on myself. We don't have to talk about that at all, but you've seen it. You've actually tattooed right above it.
Yeah, I really appreciate, and maybe a big reason why I wanted to talk to you is when I sort of like became known of your name in tattooing. It was like very obvious to me how like a distinguished style you have. Like, and even before I was like tattooing, which was like you maybe don't think about it as much. Like pre-tattooing, I would still see tattoos from you and be like, I know who did that, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's a very like cool place to be as a tattooer or as an artist, where you have like, I don't know, like something that is so like you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely valuable, but like you wouldn't believe how much time I put into not tattooing like that. I just want to do like straight traditional tattoos.
Of course.
It just don't turn out like that. They always become like weirder and don't know what it is, but here we are.
Do you put on different glasses when you design something that is maybe not meant as a tattoo, but more in like as we see here at the Le Coq or something, or Skúli Kraftbar?
Yeah, I mean it's like it gives you a bit of freedom to do stuff that's like not tattooable, so that's fun. But it's also really hard to, when you're this used to drawing stuff for tattoos, you kind of you always lean into that direction. So it's always like pretty tattoo forward or whatever. Yeah, what I think about traditional tattooing is that it's, and this is not really a positive thing. It's in a way it is, but not all the way. I think it's like the whole kind of gatekeepy aspect of it. We don't want to do the hip thing. We want to be, like you said, a part of the small herd. We're not tattooers. We're fucking traditional tattooers. So maybe that's the metal tattooing attitude, because like I said, it's become so safe to tattoo, so like, which is great obviously. So a lot of people who are tattooing now would never have started tattooing, so obviously that like expands the whole thing. But I think the like outlaw swagger type thing is definitely
like you don't even have to go like that far back. You know, let's say like 15-20 years or something. If I were to go to any of the 3 shops that were here and tried to get like an apprenticeship, and they would just be like, fuck off. And I'd be like, okay. And then I would never try it.
Absolutely, and it's ironic that I'm talking about it, because I'm definitely a part of that, like that whole movement. I would never have started tattooing 20 years ago. It's just,
I think it's probably the same for me. Like I was pretty fortunate, like how I kind of came into tattooing, you know, and I feel like a lot of people, that's also like maybe a thing that is changing a lot. It's just like how people get into it, you know. It's more popular tattooing, and therefore there's more people tattooing, you know.
Yeah.
More people getting tattoos, more people tattooing.
More money in it, but just
of course
spread around.
And I think like a lot of people, like I listen to so many like tattoo podcasts and like all of this stuff, and I always feel like I'm always just hearing the same kind of like, you know, like some old jaded guy being like, oh, everything is so fucked and like blah blah blah. And I'm like, I mean, it's probably true to like many levels, but I think you can also kind of choose the way you look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and according to some tattoo podcasts that I listen to, this has been the case since the 1800s or whatever. There was always someone like complaining about the new pen machine tattooers or whatever.
And I feel like every time I put on a new podcast, it starts exactly the same. They like kind of get that out of the way. Some old guys like, oh, everything is fucked and I have no bookings. And then they're just like, okay, now we talk about something else, you know.
Yeah, this may be a little bit random, but like you look at tattooers like Fjölli, they're definitely old school, like look like kind of gatekeepy dudes, but they just have the most positive outlook on the world of tattooing now. They're like super welcoming to all the new tattooers, all the new trends, whatever it is, like cyber-sigillism or fine line stuff. They're just like, fuck yeah, just do it and like do a good job, and it's just...
Of course. And I think that's a very good way to look at it.
I just wish I could. I mean, I try my very best, but I'm just apparently a grumpy 50-year-old man.
Like I think, like you said, like you can look at it from different ways, you know. I definitely like there's 100% like plenty of like negative things going on, and then there's plenty of like positive things going on also, and then you just kind of choose which one you kind of want to lean into. And I think you can acknowledge one thing but still kind of maybe focus on the other. And it's the same with like heavy metal or like whatever, you know. It's like, oh, this band started as a heavy metal band and now they make fucking pop music or whatever, you know. Of course, the people who kind of were there from the beginning, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this shit, you know?
But yeah, that being said, like the whole thing about like acknowledging and being positive about the new whatever, I think that's also like always going to be valid, that you acknowledge what came before. And like, I'm not saying that everybody should tattoo with a coil machine, but they should kind of, I just think it's sad that they don't want to.
I do agree with that.
And so I think it's important that you kind of don't completely forget about it, but just obviously do your own thing.
Of course, and they say like you need to learn the rules to know how to break them. You know? And I feel like it's the same with tattoo. And it's, like you said, it's a very valuable thing to know the history of, you know, the thing that you're doing, like where it comes from, how it started. I'm not saying you like have to do it, you know, but it seems definitely something that people who do traditional or old school seem to be more like aware of, you know. They all seem to be like a tiny percent like historian when it comes to like tattooing, and they enjoy the history of it and where it comes from and like all of this stuff, which is not always the case with people who maybe not are into like traditional. I know plenty of people who I'm just like, oh, Ed Hardy, and they're just like, who is that? And I'm like, well, like he's like kind of the reason why we're all here, you know. So,
absolutely. And like I said, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter. Obviously it in the end doesn't matter. I just find it so
a tiny bit.
And it's also, like I said, I just feel like it's a bit sad that you're missing out on that whole aspect of it, because it puts it all into perspective. Of course.
And it's like good school.
Absolutely.
You know, you can learn from the best a lot of things. If you could give your apprentice self an advice, what would you tell him?
Yeah, that's a really hard one though. I mean, one of the things that I feel like has changed the way I tattoo the most is like how much it matters that you're kind of confident in what you're doing. I don't know if that's like advice you can give, like be more confident. That doesn't really make any sense. But I really think it matters. Like, that you go into every line with like, okay, let's go, we're doing this line. Instead of like scratching it in and kind of, So that's definitely something that's changed. And I feel like, and I don't know if my lines are any better or whatever, but it's just like, it's more enjoyable to tattoo like that.
Of course.
So that would definitely be a thing.
Be more confident.
Apprentice Sölvi, be more confident.
It comes with time also.
I mean, it does. That what makes it very bad.
But I still,
slow down. That was a huge thing of like when I was first getting into it. I think it was because people were always telling me how slow I was, so I wanted to speed up because like it was noticeable how slow I was. You have to be slow. I mean, you have to like at least think about what you're doing before you do it.
Take your time.
But you can be like slow in a fast way, kind of.
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing though.
I don't think you're very slow, at least today.
No, I mean I'm not super fast, but I'm just whatever.
Like you like to not only like take your time with a tattoo, but also like kind of get comfortable with people before you tattoo them.
Yeah.
You know, and you maybe like hang out a little bit, and you give them a donut or something.
You gave him the donut.
I did give them a donut.
But I've been known to give donuts. I mean definitely that. But yeah, maybe it's just a confidence thing. Be less panicky. Like, just calm down. Take your time. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, but thank you for the talk. Thank you for allowing us to film you. I know this is not the most comfortable thing for you, but I do think this kind of makes my point of like why I want to do this, you know, because I know some people are maybe not as comfortable with like being an attention-seeking beep like me, but I think you are a very, very like valuable artist in tattooing.
Thank you.
And I think more people need to see that.
Yeah, and I mean, we've tattooed each other enough, so you know that I don't really shut up. It's just the camera thing.
Yeah.